All right, I know that I have not made a video in forever, but I'm trying to get back into it. I have been on YouTube and I've been busy. Every Tuesday night, I'm on the goddamn podcast with Drew and Dark Matter 2525. So feel free to check that out. I'll leave a link in the description. But I've been wanting to get back into making videos, and I found this one, and I thought it would be a good one to start with. So enjoy.
But I wanted to stress that this is not political. If I thought for one moment that if we banned assault weapons, then all of these tragedies would end, you would have me, I would be with you.
Now, I personally am not one for banning guns. I don't think that's the proper way to go about this. But we don't make laws. You should know this. This is, by the way, Kelly Stargel, a Florida state senator, who basically is in charge of and responsible for legislating laws. Now, is she under the impression that every law that is passed with the intention of preventing the crime it's meant to solve 100%? When they make a law against stealing, do they think that people will just stop stealing? Now, there's a nuanced argument to have here where you could say, well, in certain countries, they have much stricter laws and they have much less crime. But that's not where she's coming from with this at all. There's no nuance to it. It's like, well, if I thought banning stuff would just end all these tragedies 100%, I'd be on board. But since it don't, I can't be on board. Well, that just seems either ignorant or disingenuous as far as I'm concerned.
But are we going to ban fertilizer, which is what they used in the Oklahoma bombing? Are we going to ban pressure cookers, which is what they used in the Boston massacre? Are we going to ban the multiple handguns that were used in other assaults? Are we going to ban the sawed-off shotguns, is what was used in Columbine?
It doesn't seem like this senator is very well versed in regulations that we have. The ammonium nitrate in fertilizer is heavily regulated. By the way, that's the stuff that makes you go boom. That's how they used it for the Oklahoma City bombing. Sawed-off shotguns also are illegal across the entire United States if the barrel is under 18 inches or unless a person obtains a taxed permit from the ATF, the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. Have fun with that. So you see how they weren't just like, well, if cutting the barrel, having a sawed-off shotgun, if banning those would just 100% end any kind of crime and murder, then I'd be on board. Well, that's not the point. The point is that the reason a sawed-off shotgun is more dangerous is because the projectiles come out of it much faster, and they're kind of wild and spread. They're not as aimed. So there's a reason, and they're much more easy to conceal as well. So there's a reason that they don't have sawed-off shotguns. They don't just turn a blind eye to it. They have actually regulated it.
It's not the weapon. It's the evil from within. And unfortunately, Senator Stewart said at the very beginning of her debate, when we say thoughts and prayers, it's frowned upon. And I take real offense at that, because thoughts and prayers are really the only thing that's going to stop the evil from within the individual who is taking up their arms to do this kind of a massacre.
So there, apparently, you have it. It's the evil within that's the real problem. Now, I mean, I guess I could kind of go along with that. Like, people are going to do nasty shit, but the problem is that you are saying there are evil people, and then you want them to just easily be able to get high-powered firearms that make it that much easier for them to commit their evil acts. And mind you, if your thoughts and prayers had any kind of real, inner workings with people, wouldn't there be no evil people left? How is it that thoughts and prayers don't stop evil people for shit ever? I mean, if thoughts and prayers worked, why are there so many massacres in the first place? Many of which are perpetrated by Christians or have Christian victims. That their thoughts and prayers didn't seem to do shit. But here we have Kelly Stargel, a Florida fucking state senator, who is convinced it's the only thing that can help. It is the only thing that will truly stop the evil from within. What a load of bullshit. You do realize that churches have been shot up too, right? Lots of praying going on in there. Apparently, somebody's not listening. The guy upstairs must be, busy doing something else. He is not paying attention to all your thoughts and prayers. This dummy, she might as well fucking go ahead and sacrifice a goat on top of it. That's about how effective this shit is. Here, I got some thoughts and prayers that you lose your fucking seat on the Senate come November. How about that?
So I will continue to do the thoughts and prayers. But in addition to that, I'm also going to do a comprehensive plan that Senator Galvano has spent hours and days, weeks actually working on. We're going to look at the weapons, which to a level of comfort past me, but I'm willing to move to a degree to say you've got to be 21 before you can have it, to make sure that person has a little more maturity in their life. Looking to the individual and their mental health to make sure that we're trying to make sure this individual is someone who we've done everything we can in our power to try and catch them early, to try to change the trajectory of their life when they've come from a broken home or whatever situation that they've had, to help them not have the desire to do these kinds of acts. We're going to look at law enforcement for the ones that we've missed, who've still got to that point, who want to do these things, to harden our schools. And if we haven't hardened the school enough, to have armed people there to just as the very last resort stop them.
And here we have Kelly apparently realizing that her thoughts and prayers are fucking useless, worthless, pointless, and has to come up with a whole slew of other plans to help stop this shit, because your thoughts and prayers are fucking useless. They don't do shit. She was saying how, like, saying thoughts and prayers is fighting words now. That's because people like you say thoughts and prayers and then don't do shit. It's a fucking platitude. You're just giving lip service to a tragedy and be like, well, thoughts and prayers, and now you don't have to do anything. Like, if it's just some dumb douchebag on Facebook, whatever. But the fucking Florida State Senator Kelly Stargell is saying that's the most important thing. Now, luckily for us, she seems to understand that you have to do more than just that. You have to make bigger changes than just thinking and praying a little bit harder.
So this is a comprehensive plan. It's not just the weapon. It is all of it. It's comprehensive. But in my opinion, the one thing that will actually change this the most is the one thing that has become fighting words, which is to say thoughts and prayers. So that's something I'm going to continue to add to my comprehensive plan so that we can hopefully stop the evil that is happening from within our world.
So the one thing that a senator cannot legislate, and that is to force people to pray or something like that, is the one thing you think would work best. You are literally in a position to make laws, not hope and pretend everything will just magically get better, and yet you rely on thoughts and prayers. I mean, you again, you think that's the most effective thing, but you seem to realize that it's not that effective, because you then come up with all these other plans, like the people who board up their windows and then pray that the hurricane doesn't hit their house. You seem to know that your prayer is pretty fucking meaningless. So you board up the windows, and then you make laws, and you want to harden the schools and do things like that, raise the age to buy the guns. These are all things, regulations. It raises the age to buy a gun to 21, is banning the gun for 18 to 20-year-olds. Do you understand? You can have a shotgun as long as the barrel is over 18 inches. Once it's under 18 inches, that is banned unless you have a permit. It's the way you word it, like a gun ban. It's not the way it fucking works. You regulate things so that they are harder for evil people to get a hold of, you dipshit. It's that fucking simple. Maybe you belong in the pulpit and not the halls of legislature, if thoughts and prayers is what you think is most fucking effective for all people. Let us not forget that America is one of the most religious countries per capita and has some of the highest mass shooting problems in the first world So much for thoughts and prayers. Those victims, I'm sure none of the victims, thought or prayed before they were fucking killed. It's pathetic of you to really not understand why that is fighting words, as she put it, to other people, because you are literally just saying, well, thinking of praying for you, but that's all I'm going to do. Again, I'll make the point. She obviously wants to go further with it because she realizes her thoughts and prayers don't mean shit. But she said twice or three times in this, said she thinks it would be the most effective way to go about this, which blows my fucking mind. Like, if that's the case, if the most effective thing you can do is pray for something to change, why did you get into the government? To especially, be a senator and legislate laws and everything. Why didn't you just try and become a preacher or a priest or preach from the pulpit, do work with the church if that's more effective? Why? Who knows why? But the religious really want to get their fingers into the government as much as they can, even though they can't legislate things like forcing people to pray. Although they did just recently here in Florida approve a bill that will put a plaque in every single public school in Florida that says, "In God We Trust." They really know how to solve those big issues here in fucking Florida. Again, I feel like I need to reiterate that I'm not for banning guns. I have a gun. I'm not against guns. I am pro responsible gun ownership. I am anti turning a blind eye to gun problems because God, or because you could take money from the NRA or shit like that. You can still like guns and be honest about the arguments that are used here. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I plan on making more. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Stay tuned for more videos. And of course, if you've really missed me, you can catch up on all kinds of stuff on the goddamn podcast. Links are in the description. Love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Coctopus out.